Hello, everyone. I'm Nicole DeBoer with the Southwest Minnesota Arts Council, and welcome to another artist virtual reception. We are honored today to showcase the work of Sheila Tabaka. We will have Sheila's exhibit has been videotaped by staff, thanks to Crystal, and we will show that video. And then after the video, we are going to open it up for your questions or comments about her work and just enjoy a little bit of what is in the gallery now. The gallery is open until her show ends February 24th or 7th.
Seventh, I
27th.
think.
That's the
Yeah.
last Friday in February. Yeah. Yep. So I want to share a little bit about Sheila. So Sheila received a SMAC Artist Growth Grant in 2024 to take a 2-week kilt making masterclass in Scotland, conducted by the historical kilt maker Nikki Laird, and visit Carloway Mill for demonstrations of historic tweed weaving. She gained firsthand knowledge on the weaving process of tartans, traditions, and techniques of the historic kilt making. And I do want to read you a little bit about what Sheila has shared in her artist bio. So this is in Sheila's words. I am a proud part of the Entertainment and Theater Arts program at Southwest Minnesota State University here in Marshall, Minnesota, where I also serve as the costume designer. Through my work in the theater, I'm able to explore different eras, styles, and clothing construction techniques. I am inspired by the colors and textures of the fabrics. Fabrics have the ability to be stiff and straight like a tartan kilt, or soft and wispy like a chiffon scarf. As fabric artists, we can choose their fate. We can hold them, shape them, and give them another life as a finished garment. As many artists do, I also work outside the theater on different artistic ventures, most notably my work with the Scottish tartans and kilts. After a workshop in Edinburgh in 2024, my life has opened up to a whole new artistic venture. Traditional Scottish kilt making, an endangered handicraft in the United Kingdom. It requires patience and time and commitment. It's slow going at times, but incredibly rewarding. The craft of the historic artisan is incredibly fascinating to me, and through this new work, I get to experience some of that history firsthand. I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity to exhibit some of my work. We have had Sheila's work up and on exhibit in the SMAC Gallery, which is located in downtown Marshall. We are located at 509 West Main Street in Marshall, open Monday through Friday mornings and afternoons with a little break closed over lunch. So you still have time to stop in and see it through the month of February. We had a really joyous reception with lots of folks that wanted to stop in, and Sheila is generous with her kilts in that she allows you to touch them and feel them and see how they're put together. And so we have had lots of people stop by at the reception and since and enjoy all of the history that goes along with this art form. Sheila, I want to give you a chance to just say hello, and then we'll play a video of the exhibit.
Yes, hello. Thanks for coming. I've been talking back and forth with a friend of mine who was in the workshop with me, and he's hoping to join in as well. And he is a tartan weaver, working off of out of the city of Oban, but so he may join us as well. And here he is. So right on cue. Awesome. So yeah, I'm just really grateful that that we could connect like this. So thanks for coming.
That's so great. It is a small world after all, right? And we appreciate those joining us from over the pond for either getting up early or staying up late, however you want to see it. So, thank you, Sheila. We're going to hear from Sheila later. And just if you'll hold your comments and thoughts, we're going to watch the video that includes Sheila's exhibit, as I said. And then after that, we'll just open it up and you can unmute and ask questions. So, Crystal, I'm going to hand it over to you. Welcome back from our gallery exhibit video tour. Thank you all for being with us. I do want to mention that this is like a gathering of friends. There's no formality to this next portion where Sheila is in the spotlight, and you are all welcome to ask her questions or just comment on the absolute beauty of the work that she does. So I'm just going to open up the floor and you can come off mute and share your thoughts or questions with Sheila.
Alan,
Hello, how
how
are
are
you?
you? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good to see you.
Nice to talk to you and see you instead of just texting you and talking to
Yeah,
you.
it's nice.
Yes.
It's nice. So how's I suppose I'll kick off and just say how's it been since qualifying and getting back to the States? What have you been up to
Yeah.
since you got back?
So Alan and I were in the workshop together, and and Alan is a tartan designer, and was in the workshop with me as well. And so since we've been back, a lot of it has to do with the grant actually, because as part of the requirements, I had to do these different things, and then somebody told somebody who told somebody, and then all of a sudden all these other opportunities started to pop up, and so. It's been really, really great. I mean, I wouldn't say that Southwest Minnesota is a hot spot for kilt making, but then you run into people, and it's so funny. We were in Watertown, South Dakota, Christmas shopping, and we were at like a sporting goods store, and the gentleman who was helping us was clearly from Scotland, and he went on and on and on about how he's got this kilt and he's lost a lot of weight, and so could I take it in? And I'm like, you're at a Cabela's in South Dakota, and you're looking. It's very strange, interesting, but good. And you're designing tartans now.
Yeah. So yeah, Sheila and I were on the course together and got loads out of it. I did have a retail store in a little town called Oban, which is just kind of northwest of Glasgow. We since closed down the store, and I've focused more on design. My background's in textile design, and I've kind of leaned into that a bit more. But the course opened up a whole world of knowledge, I suppose, and an interest in tartan that if I hadn't done the course, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, because I just wouldn't have had that knowledge and that experience. So yeah, no, it was great. It was really although I'm now not making kilts as such, yeah, having that base knowledge and knowing how they're made, why they're made, the history behind it, and things. Yeah, it was really invaluable. So
Mhm.
yeah, no, it was good.
It was good, and it it really did. I mean, Alan's right. It opened up something I was kind of interested in, kind of thought about, maybe kind of sort of, and then all of a sudden it becomes a part of who I am, which I'm really grateful for. And it was just a good time being able to be in that apprenticeship and be a student as opposed to being the person who's the teacher was just it was really great. I didn't have to be a leader at all. I could just be the one absorbing the information, which was really fun. Yeah.
I
Someone
was,
on here said they had an exchange student from Scotland.
yes, in the chat.
Yeah. In 1979.
Yeah, I just dated
Awesome.
myself. She, uh, let's see, she must be in her 80s now. We have visited her, and she has visited us a number of times. I live in St. Paul,
Mhm.
and she lives in a little town on the western shore called Dundonald, and I think it's just southwest of Glasgow a bit.
Okay. Hmm.
Yep, and when she looks out her front window, she can see the ruins of Dundonald Castle. How beautiful is that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We just see corn. Wonderful.
Thank you for joining,
Okay.
both of
Yes,
you.
thank you.
I was amazed when I was hanging your show and working with the kilts at how heavy they are.
Mhm.
So my question is not how heavy do you think they are, but more personal. How often do you wear a kilt, Sheila?
Well, I mean, actually, Alan could probably answer that question better than I could. I wear that, I mean, here I can wear them in the winter. I mean, I'm not going to wear them in the summer. They're way too hot and
Yeah.
they're way too heavy. Um, but I mean, I wear them, every week I got a couple of them, so I'll wear them like once or twice a week to school. But most, I can wear them because the costume shop at the university is freezing. And so if it was not so much, I really couldn't because it would be really, really warm. It doesn't feel heavy when I'm wearing it until I take it off. And then I realize how heavy it was all day that I was lugging it around. But I mean, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's uncomfortable or anything like that. And there's so much movement, the back opens up. So there's a lot more movement than you think when you're looking at it kind of being straight up and down. Yeah. I like it. I like wearing them.
So everything that you have been making since the workshop, have you been ordering more fabric from Scotland? Did you bring a bunch home with you?
So after when we finished the Black Watch Weathered is the one that I made at the apprenticeship, and then when we were there that last week, we could order some more if we wanted to through them and have it shipped there and everything. And some people live there, so it doesn't matter. But there were several of us who aren't from Scotland, and so. Excuse me, I did that because I wanted to make one right away because I was so worried I was going to forget how to do it. And so after we left the workshop in Edinburgh, we went and spent 3 months on about 3 months on a farm in northern Scotland. And so I took the fabric up there, and because I didn't have to do any of it on a machine, I could hand sew it in the the camper van that we were staying in. Which that's a whole nother story. So then I made that one. And then since we've been back, I've made a couple more. And I had some tartans shipped about a year ago, but I have someone who's looking for one right now, and I'm a little nervous because the tariffs are incredibly high. And so that is a real deterrent. And it's not anything that has to do with the companies at all. It has to do with shipping it into the US. So that's been could potentially be a problem or a challenge. But the one that's half done, that's in the exhibit, I've had that fabric for quite a while, and I just got around to finally starting to make the kilt for the person. So that one is fine. But then the one I got actually since the exhibit, I had someone reach out who wants to have a kilt made out of a Danish tartan. And when we were at the workshop, they really talked about two companies, well, three, Martin Mills and Lochharn, and then House of Edgar, these three places. And but this one that he wants, this Danish tartan, is only available at International Tartans because the weaver or the designer of it had it registered that it's a restricted tartan, and so you can only get it from International Tartans. And so it's something I didn't know anything about. I'd heard about him, I saw him on the register, and then all of a sudden, the next person that asks me wants one, and it's this David McGill was the designer, and I'm not sure if he's alive anymore, but it looks like International Tartans must hold the rights to that tartan. So, and they're a small company, and I put all the information in, and I didn't click the next one because I'm not really sure if I want to see how much the tariff is going to be to bring that fabric to the US. My plan, I was telling Alan, is that we're going back in May. So maybe I'll have to have it shipped somewhere and just bring it back. Just bring a whole bunch of samples of all these different tartans. It doesn't really work that way. There's too many of them. But maybe that's how I'm going to have to get that tartan back, is to bring it back with me. Because I don't know if I'll be able to. I mean, I wouldn't want to pass that. That's a substantial cost on to a customer,
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Apologies, I don't have a camera on this computer.
It's okay.
So
We'll just
apologies for
assume
that.
what you look like.
Yeah. I'm the most handsome devil that Lisa Hill knows.
Okay.
So, and my first name is Kurt, by the way, so you can just call me Kurt. So apologies if you answered the question in the video, but it went by pretty quickly and I couldn't consume it all. But you mentioned that the kilts are quite warm and too warm to wear in summertime. Are there different weights
Oh, yeah.
Fabric, and can you tell me more about that?
Yeah. So, I mean, there's several different weights actually. And the ones that I have, the two that I have are actually a wool. But there's different blends that you can get that wouldn't be as heavy. After we had left Edinburgh, we were in Inverness for a while, and there's a kilt maker there that makes a lot of kilts out of non-traditional kilt fabrics. And so she's making things out of leather and leather and lace and cottons and things like that, so there's lots of options for it. I mean, the typical one, or the traditional one, would have been that tartan wool, but you can make them out of lots of different things. And they all, I'm sorry to interrupt, they're all, they all close on the right. And like, I don't know if you saw in one of the pictures, whatever, but that was the skirt I had on closes on the left, and I hesitate to even wear them. I have a whole bunch of them. They all close on the left, and it makes me crazy because I know people are like, don't you know it closes on the right? They're all skirts. They're just fashion skirts. So they all look the same, but there's lots of different, with the skirts, there's lots of different fabrics for them.
I guess I didn't consider that you could use synthetic blends or blends of any kind, and then this clothes on the right versus clothes on the left thing, like what that all about?
Yeah. And I think the black watch that I had at the workshop, I'm pretty sure that was a blend.
And is there significance about closing on the right or closing on the left?
It's just how it, I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea. I mean, if it was the left, I mean, that would make sense, like, I mean, in the US, I mean, in the 1930s and 40s, all the women's dresses, I mean, even up to today, they close on the left because we're primarily right-handed. The world is for right-handed people, supposedly. So you could close them that way, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think there's a difference in women's clothing, how they button. Right? Men's button one way and women's button the other way.
Men's buttons are on the right, women's are on the left.
Never understood.
That's because typically you would have someone dressing you. So they'd be on.
Oh man, I want that deal.
Yeah, so somebody's looking at you and buttoning your buttons for you.
Okay, thank you.
You need a valet.
See, Lisa, this is now you.
Lisa, get over here.
Yeah, on my way, 70 miles out. So, Sheila, what's on the horizon for you?
Well, if I had my way, I would be Alan's new neighbor. So I would just head on over. I mean, let's just be honest, right? That's what Jim and I would like. We just like that. I mean, we're I mean, I'm still teaching, and I still like going to work, So when we went in 24, I had kind of thought that it was a 10-year plan, because we can take sabbaticals every 10 years. And so my plan was to come back from sabbatical and then teach, and then take a sabbatical, and then teach a year, and then retire, and then be done. But we have these grand plans. We really would like to move to Inverness. But we don't have any grandchildren yet, so that might change. So when and if we ever have grandchildren, but I miss it so much, all the time. I think about it all the time. I mean, every time we've gone, the people are so great. I don't know. We talk about it all the time. Miss it so much, but we'll see. I don't know. I would love to be able to just make kilts, but that's not really viable unless I can find a good pipe band around here or something. I don't know. So if anybody knows of a South Dakota pipe band or something, send them my way, And there's some.
There's the Minnesota pipe and what's it called, Kurt? The pipe and drum corps, is that what it's called?
Pipe and bugle, I think.
Is that what it is? Yeah, but that's Minnesota.
Yeah, and I know there's a big Scottish population up in the up in the Twin Cities, they have McAllister just changed their mascot to the Highland Cows. Awesome. I don't know. So then they had to like ship one in or something so people could take a picture with them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are some of those factions up there. We were looking for a Burns night a couple of weeks ago, and there was one in South Dakota, but it was a little too far, to drive. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll try to get it as much as we can when we go, I guess, and breathe in as much Highland air as we can when we go and bring it back. So.
Is there anything that you have learned in this whole learning about kilt making process that you feel like you will help with your theater costuming that you can kind of translate into that, or is it not really transferable skills?
Yeah, it's all hand sewing, so it takes a lot longer. And of course, we don't really have that luxury in the theater. And, I don't know how many times after I got back, people were like, "Are you going to do Brigadoon?" And I'm like, I'm not making 25 kilts in 6 weeks. That's no, we're not doing that. So I would say not. The good thing about the whole sabbatical is that that's meant for you as a professional, right? It's not meant to be tied exactly to your teaching, which has been really great for me to be able to do that because I feel like it's a different component of who I am as a seamstress or an artist or whatever, which has been really great. So no, I don't really, but that's okay. Yeah. Because I live in the costume world all the time. I live in a different period. So now I'm just living in, I'm just living in the Jacobite era when I come home, which is okay with me.
Sheila, I was curious when I was at the in-person reception, is there any sort of big difference between like a women's kilt and a men's kilt?
Well, when you take the measurements, you just allot for all of that. And so, because, we kind of have the ability for the kilts to kind of sit on our hips, where men are more cylindrical and they don't really necessarily have that, but you have to just take the measurements so it fits to that body. And then depending on how thin or big they get, you can adjust it a little bit, so they don't have to go buy a whole new kilt.
But you wouldn't know necessarily by looking at a kilt if it was for a man or a woman, just by...
Probably not. I would say probably not. I mean, I've only made 4. So, but they're all relatively, I mean, the construction of them is all exactly the same.
Okay.
It's just the body that it's fitting on.
We have a couple of questions in chat.
Okay.
Are there kilts for special occasions? And if so, are they different?
Yes. Alan, I'm leaning on you here. Yeah.
Happy to help, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say that so there's maybe a couple of different answers. So the actual kilt itself doesn't change at all. The actual garment doesn't change depending on the occasion. So you would have I mean there's some people in Scotland that will wear a kilt every day. And they'll wear it just about out and about. There's others who will never wear a kilt in their life. And then there's some that are kind of in between, where you would wear a kilt to something like a wedding. In the Highlands, you'd wear it to a funeral as well. Any sort of special occasion like that, like a burn supper, black tie dinner, things like this, you would wear a kilt to it. So there's a couple of different things. The tartan, you get different varieties of tartan. So you get like the modern variety, which is like a really dark saturated color, kind of really dark blues and greens and stuff. That's the modern is like really saturated color. Then you get ancient, which is it looks old. It looks like it's kind of the modern has been left out in the sun. So if you were to imagine leaving out some fabric in the sun would drain the color from it, and that's what they would call the ancient variety of it. And then on top of that is the dress tartans. So dress tartans usually have a lot of white going through them. And this was kind of going back to Queen Victoria ages. But you see a lot of these. It's more So the kind of bigger clans like Gordon's, McDonald's, things like that, Campbell's, that would have the white going through them, for the dress tartans. So, I mean, some people will have a dress kilt in the white tartan. Some people, yeah, will have 3 or 4 kilts and they'll wear them for different occasions. Other people just have one kilt and wear it for everything. I've got 3 kilts, one that I made myself when I was in the workshop, and I tend to wear that at any occasion, any kind of special occasion. I'll wear that kilt because it was me that made it. It was the first kilt that I ever made, so it's really special to me. I've got a kilt that I got married in, that was made for me, but that was before the workshop. So yeah, a very special kilt, but I think the one that I made is fits better, and prefer the color. And then I got another kilt through a bit of serendipity. I had a kilt shop, and we made a kilt for a customer in the wrong tartan. But it just so happened that I had a family tie to that tartan, and the kilt fitted me quite well, so I held on to it, and that's, yeah, a bit of serendipity through that. So yeah, I hope that helps answer the question a little bit.
And then there's all the pipe bands and things like they
Mm.
all have their own tartans, and then there's all the Highland dancers, they all have their special tartans and things like that. And one of the things they talked about at the workshop was, the idea that if you do have a pipe band, and there was a woman in the workshop who was part of a pipe band and was making the kilt, is that they all have to look the same. So you have to make sure that the center line is the same on all of them, because the tartan isn't necessarily always isn't symmetrical. Not every tartan is symmetrical, and so you have to really know what you're looking at, so that you don't have somebody from the back, as the pipe band goes by, somebody's kilt is off center because you've made it. And I mean, that would be really bad. So, and then there's the saffron kilt in Ireland, which is really just kind of like a mustard yellow. It doesn't have any kind of, I don't think it's got any kind of design on it at all, does it, Alan? I think it's just
No, it's just
yeah,
it's a kind of
saffron.
gold,
Yeah. Mhm.
kind of gold color.
Yeah.
That's a twill. So it's beautiful. It's really nice.
Mhm. Yeah.
So very interesting. Talk a little bit about the endangered craft list.
So, and I don't remember if, I think it happened before like when I signed up on the Kilt Makery, the Scott Clan's website. They had a link to the endangered crafts or the handicrafts list, and it's just this series of handcraft, hand craftsmen that don't exist. The craft doesn't exist anymore because people don't do it, and it hasn't been passed down, or that it's endangered because there's so few of them. And I don't know how they figure that out, like how they know how many or what their magic numbers are that you have to have. But the Kilt Makery is sure doing their job at trying to make sure that it doesn't die, but it's on the list. And there's a whole bunch of different levels of lists of where these crafts fall. But it's really, just reading the list is really, really interesting. The things that people used to, put their hands to and make. I just think it's really fascinating. Tinsmiths and boat making and, all that kind of stuff. And I know on our public television station, they did a series last year or 2 years ago about someone I think they were in Denmark, I can't remember, who still they make boats by hand. They make the boats. That's crazy that craft is still alive and well. So I don't know, I'm just really fascinated by it. And then after I think it was last year, Nikki, who kind of heads up the workshop, she wasn't our instructor, Siobhan was our instructor, but she received the crafter of the year in Scotland and the crafter of the year in the UK. Very cool. Nice that people are recognized for stuff like that.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of like in America, a lot of our indigenous, very traditional things like making canoe out of a cottonwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody does that anymore. That is that's a very rare, and then birch bark canoes.
Yeah.
Very rare to make those.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
And
I need to call out my friend here, Mr. Carlson because he is involved in canoe making, but he doesn't want to admit it. So,
Oh, Lisa. Is this rigged?
yes, right.
Wow.
No, I didn't know I would get us off topic.
Yeah,
But
we'll stay off
I
that.
may want to connect with you later and learn
Wow.
more about your canoe making, especially if it's Dakota related. I would love to learn more.
I would love to learn how to build a traditional birch bark canoe, but I don't have the patience for that, I'm afraid. What I do is build and restore wood canvas canoes, which are patterned after the kind of process that indigenous peoples use to build birch bark canoes. And I'm a passionate aficionado of wooden boats. And yep, it's kind of a dying breed, maybe. Who knows? I don't know.
Cool.
Good fun.
Anything else for Sheila?
I have a logistical question. So, some of those slides went a little too fast that I wasn't able to like take a photo of the QR code for like the YouTube thing and things along those lines. Is that video on the SMAC website that somebody could watch it again, or?
So it's not
Okay.
yet, but it will be
Okay.
like within the next hour. Like I'll put it up there after
Oh, okay.
this.
That's fine.
So
Okay.
it'll be up there soon, and we'll also post it on like our Facebook. It'll be on our YouTube channel on Facebook, and then we'll post the link on our website in the gallery space. Yeah.
Great. Cool. Thank you.
Could I ask, Sheila, you mentioned you're coming back to Scotland.
Yeah.
What's your plans when you head back?
Yeah. So I think so we have graduation here the second week of May, and then we start Children's Theater the first week of June. So in between that time, I think we're going to come back before it gets too expensive to go, because all of the, because we don't want to go in the summer because it's super expensive to come in the summer. And so we're probably hopefully going like the last 2 weeks of May we'll be there, and see, what we can do. And I mean, we really just, we've been to Inverness so many times to just go there and just be there. I mean, we don't even need to do stuff, we just kind of walk around and go to, a town half an hour away and just kind of walk. I mean, we don't really have any plans. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not castles to see, because there's a few, but we've done a lot of that, and so just doing that stuff and going to see if the Loch Ness Monster is really there and all those kinds of things, is really great. But it's and I don't know if everybody knows, but much of Scotland is free to roam, so you can walk through people's land, and going to the all the national sites and things like that is just really, really great, being part of that. And there's an exhibit in Edinburgh that I'd like to go to, of the Queen's fashions. So we'll see, I mean, how big is Scotland in relation to America? It's as big as, like, I don't know, like Georgia or something like that. So if that gives you a point of reference for stuff. So it was interesting in the workshop, because people, I mean, I don't know that they think it's cool that I'm from America, but I think they think it's weird that I was from America, because it's so big, compared to what they're used to. I mean, if you go 5 hours from Scotland, where are you? I don't know, France. You go 5 hours from here, you're in Duluth. So just a different perspective. Yeah, so that's, I don't know, we don't really have any plans. There was a music festival. I really love Kate Rusby, so but I have to go over there to see her. So I'm gonna see if we can see her. She's got a couple of festivals she's playing at, and I'd like to go back to the kilt makery, because they've moved since we did our workshop. So I'd like to see what their new space looks like. So yeah, just walk
Cool.
around and pretend and try not to look like an American tourist. That's really our goal. Yeah.
But that's fine. As you say, like everyone's welcome, and yeah, why not? There's plenty to do, plenty to see. So yeah.
See, they're just walking around billboards for come and visit Scotland.
Definitely, yeah, definitely. No, that's cool. That's that's really cool. Yeah, I'm glad to hear all's going well, and you're still at it and still flying the flag for Scotland, which is great. So
In my heart, if nowhere else, right? Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
And we will make sure on the video that also her contact information is on there. That business card, Crystal, I think you have in one of the slides. So
Yep.
if anyone is interested in having a kilt made, we have one right here local. Yeah. Well, unless there are other questions or comments for Sheila, I think I will just say with tremendously great appreciation and inspiration for what you do. I mean, you inspire me. I think it's a great undertaking to learn that with such an emphasis on history and tradition and the importance of it, and not just wing it like I would do with some hot glue. So I just love your work, and it's been really great to have you in the gallery, and you are there till the end of February. Again, I have to mention that.
Yeah.
And we are in Marshall, Minnesota. So if you get a chance, come to the gallery before the end of February and see everything in person.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Otherwise,
Thank you.
thanks everyone for your time, and we will see you in the next installment of SMAC Artist Receptions.
And thank you for doing this virtually, because sometimes it's just so hard to get out to the other end of the state. You were talking about 5 hours and be in Duluth. Well, it's a 5-hour trip for me, round trip, to go down to Marshall and back. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Very good. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Very cool.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Bye now.
Be
See you
well.
later.
Bye.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Alan.
Cheers.
You too.
Bye.
See
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.